How's it going, everybody? Starting up a live stream for second Sunday of March 2018. Just wanted to actually get this documented, but yeah, I've actually had a couple of paranormal experiences in my lifetime that I can think of. At least a couple of experiences that I cannot explain. No way, Tampa J. You know it. Go M's. You guys took Lou Pinella from us. You guys took Lou Pinella from us, one of our greatest managers we've ever had. The Mariners actually almost became the Tampa Bay Rays after the 1995 season. But because of Game 5 in the American League Divisional Series, don't you guys have Evan Longoria still, or was he traded out? Hey Logan, chill out, dude. Hey, sorry, my son's back there laughing hysterically for some reason. Gotcha. So, anyways, I wanted to do just a real quick couple of experiences that I've had. Sorry for my noisy kids in the background. Hey Logan. Hey Logan. Hey. Chill. Chill. What the paranormal? How's it going? So I wanted to talk about a couple of experiences that I've had, or at least something that I myself cannot explain. Because I'm not saying that I believe in ghosts, but I'm not saying that I don't believe in them. I do believe in an afterlife. That life continues after death. So, anyways, let me explain what's going on. What I experienced. I'm going to start off with the first one. It might take a little while. If I miss your comments about what you're saying, I'm sorry. I'm driving, so if I miss your comment, that's why. So I'm sorry about that. The first one I want to talk about is an experience I had about 17 years. I was about 17 years old when I had this experience. It was probably the summer of 2001. I remember it being shortly before the 9/11 events happened. Dude, hey, come on. Anyways, I remember having this specific experience shortly before the 9/11 attacks happened. I was that year that 9/11 happened was the year I became a senior in high school. So I was the first graduating class after 9/11 happened, 2002. Sorry about that, folks. My son likes to be loud for some reason whenever the camera's on. Anyways, I was about 17 years old, 16, 17 years old, and my family had actually flown down to Reno, Nevada to go on a family vacation. Sure, Nevada's like, you gotta play. We flew down from Seattle and flew into Reno, and Nevada's not exactly, when you go to places like Reno or Las Vegas, it's probably not 100% family friendly, if you know what I mean. But Reno, there's lots of stuff to do that doesn't have to do with gambling, drinking, or anything like that. Not that I have a problem with people doing that at all. That's something I don't do myself. If you want to do that, that's up to them. I'm not gonna go up to people and say no, you shouldn't do that, but because that's their decision. Anyways, on to the rest of my story. Sorry, I like to ramble on when I talk and tell stories. If you haven't been able to tell yet. Anyways, Charlie? What's up, buddy? But anyways, so we decided as a family to go. So I'm the oldest of 5 kids, so I have 2 younger brothers and 2 younger sisters. We decided to go to Virginia City, which is actually probably about 45 minutes. 45 minutes away from Reno, if I remember correctly. It's been a year. This is the last time I've actually been to Virginia City. I haven't been there in years. Anyways, we went out there. Virginia City is a ghost town, but it seems to be doing pretty well now. I think there's only a few hundred residents that live there, and it's definitely not as profitable as it used to be. But what attracts me to Virginia City is the history behind it. So anyways, if anybody knows Virginia City, you'll know the Bucket of Blood saloon that is there. And my dad and I, go check out his channel. Go look up Traveling with Mike and Pam. He's got his own little channel where he does like little 2, 3, 4 minute long videos, one take videos. Doesn't really do a whole lot of editing. Go check it out. Traveling with Mike and Pam. That's my dad. Anyways, this is before any of us really like got into videotaping and everything. My dad loves photography. He took pictures of everything, but never really got any orbs or anything like that. Or kind of any spirits or anything. But this is kind of like before, like, you know, Ghost Adventures or taps and stuff like that. So there wasn't like a huge popular craze back in the day, back in 2000, 2001. Anyways, I remember it was just my dad and I at one particular point where we went to the Bucket of Blood saloon. The history behind that saloon is that there were so many bar fights there. So many people were killed in these bar fights that the bartender, after closing up shop, would literally have to clean up all the blood on the floor, fill buckets up full of blood, hence the name Bucket of Blood Saloon. Because of that, they're saying that there's a lot of like paranormal stories going on from this particular. How's it going? There's a lot of ghost stories from this particular saloon. And, you know, like I said, I was only about 16 or 17 years old, maybe. Mark, what's up, Mark? But, anyways, I was not old enough to actually get into the saloon. But I was with my dad, you know. Obviously, he was old enough to go into the bar. So I went in. My dad went in, and he doesn't drink either, so he went in and bought, as a joke, he said, I want a Diet Coke and rum without the rum. So in other words, he just bought a Diet Coke. But anyways, went there. I stood by the doorway, but no one else was in there. The only person that was in there was actually my dad and the bartender. The bartender's like, you know, whatever. I know you're not of age, but I'm not gonna sell you anything like that. You got your dad here. I don't want to get you in trouble with your parents. So I was like, okay. So I walked in just a few feet. I was just at the very edge of the bar. We were just talking about stuff that's going on. Talking about, like, we're trying to learn a little bit of history of Virginia City through the bartender and stuff like that. And the bar, you walk in the door, the bar is directly to the right. So when you're looking towards the bar, the door, like, here's the bar right here. Bartender is like right here. I was looking at the bar, and the door would be like right here, like right there. And so the door is directed to my right. And I remember, like, just leaning on the bar, just listening to the stories the guy had. And I, out of the corner of my eye, I looked over a little bit. It was the middle of the day. It was probably about noontime. I saw the shades were drawn. It was like shades that way. The sun, it wasn't too bright, but at the same time, it was like keeping it cool in there because it's Nevada in like summertime, and don't know why people go to Nevada in the summertime. Anyways, I remember looking at the corner of my eye, and it looked like someone. It looked like the shadow I saw looked like it was like the shadow of like a miner. Like, I looked over, I was like, wow, cool, you know. And it looks similar to Stinky Pete from Toy Story 2, if you remember, if anybody remembers Toy Story 2. But it had like that hat, kind of a heavier guy with a beard. And it was just a shadow. I didn't see an actual person. I was like, oh, cool, this is awesome, you know. So I tried to go around the corner and see what it looked like in person without the shadow or anything like that. And when I went around, I didn't see a single person that looked like what I saw in the shadow. Hey, Jackie. Hi, Jackie. But anyways, I did not see what I thought I saw in the shade. So I was thinking to myself, like, well, I didn't really think much about it until years later. You know, when I started watching more ghost adventures, ghost hunting shows, ghost hunters, stuff like that, I didn't really think much about it until I started watching more of those. And I'm like, you know what? For some reason, when I was watching the shows, it made me reflect back to this one particular incident. And that's why I'm not so sure if I actually saw a ghost, because I reflected back. I remember seeing the shadow. I remember going out the door, not seeing a physical person that looked like what I thought I saw in the shades. And I looked down the alleyway that was just like right around the corner. I didn't see anybody there. I went like 5 or 6 feet deep, and there was a fence. So that would have been with a big, huge drop, so the person probably would have been killed. Anyways, that's probably my first experience, with a paranormal experience. But that's why I'm saying I'm not 100% sure if that was paranormal or not, because, like I said, I saw the shape, and I saw the outline of a person, but when I looked around the corner, I did not see the actual person. So it was clear as day. Didn't see it. I saw the shadow in the curtain. Went around the corner. Did not see an actual person that looked like what I thought I saw there. So I'm not going to deny that it was. I'm not going to say that it was paranormal, but at the same time, I'm not going to say it wasn't, because I'm not 100% sure. I never really thought much about it until just a few years ago, really. And the second experience I wanted to talk about was, I had to go back to a few years. I kept, for about 3 or 4 years, I kept an audio journal where I would, kind of like voice record my thoughts on a voice recorder. And during this time, I was actually very interested in the paranormal too. Ghost adventures, I have my speculations about them, whether their evidence is real or not. I don't know. I'm not going to say it is. Not going to say it's not. Because I think it's possible. Anyways, Taylor, you okay? Anyways, this is about the time when I was actually watching, really into like stuff like ghost adventures, evidence that was caught and stuff like that. And I wanted to go, and I actually wanted to know for myself, for sure. Again, I had that experience about exactly. That's what I think. That's exactly what I'm thinking. It's hard to tell what's real, what's not, until you have your own physical evidence, really. But then again, it's the part that you have to prove, where you have to prove your evidence is real, which is the difficult part. Exactly. I'm interested in paranormal stuff too, Mark. I just want to know for sure if it is real or not. I'm not 100% clear on whether or not it is real. Anyways, my second experience was actually here in Utah. Like I said before in prior videos, my wife and I, we moved here in 2009. And we moved here in May of 2009, so it's gone on about 9 years almost since we moved here. And I wanted to see if there's any paranormal spots here in Utah where I can actually go and do some investigations, or look to go see if I can find my own evidence and stuff like that. Both photographic and digital voice recordings and stuff like that. Hey Logan, hold on, buddy. Okay, hold on, just a couple more minutes.
Please.
Yeah, exactly. That's kind of that's really my question about shows like that, like Ghost Hunters or Taps, or even Ghost Adventures. I always ask my questions like, is this really real, or is it just for like the entertainment value of it all? So I just want to know for sure. I mean, I think, like I said, I think it's possible that it's real, possibly that it's fake. I don't know. I guess you can say I'm slightly skeptical about it all. Anyways, back to my second experience, the one I had here in Utah. I think it was about 2011 or 12. I was driving home one night from work. It was like 1 or 2 o'clock in the morning. Exactly. That's kind of another reason why I like to watch the shows too, because the historical aspect of it all. And it was about 1, 2, 3 o'clock in the morning when I got off of work. I was on my way home from Salt Lake City. At the time, the job I had was at least an hour away, up by the Salt Lake City Airport, International Airport. Now, I was on my way home. I had learned about this place called the Lehi Historical Hospital, which is in Lehi, Utah, which is about 10 or 15 minutes away from where I live now. Anyways, and I had learned about it, the story about it. I actually heard that the hospital was actually torn down in about 2008 or so. Hey, Logan. Yeah, I think the hospital was torn down in about 2008 or so. So shortly before I moved to Utah. But people say that a lot of land was actually still haunted. I read a story about how I think the hospital was actually built in the 1890s and closed, I think, in the 60s, maybe early 70s. Yeah, the 60s, and has sat abandoned ever since, up until about 2008 or 2007 or 8, when they tore it down. But there was a story about how one time there was this one doctor who went absolutely insane and killed a couple of his own patients without them knowing, by giving them like some kind of medicine. And then he claimed that he was being possessed by a ghost, but then he ended up taking one of the nurses and killing her and hanging her on the flagpole outside the hospital, and just leaving her there overnight until someone else saw it the next morning, and they ended up finding him dead from a gunshot wound. Hey. But they say that it's both her spirit and the spirit of the doctor that haunted the area. And after I read the story and everything, I wanted to go there on my way home from work early in the morning, and I had my voice recorder with me. It's a digital one, so that way I like to use digital instead of like the little mini tapes, because it's more clear. Because if you use like those little cassette tapes, you get a little bit more static. So that way it's hard to distinguish what's real, what's fake, what's the tape, what's not, stuff like that. So I sat there. So I was sitting there and I asked, "Is anybody out there?" I didn't hear anything. I was out in the middle of this field. I asked, "Is anybody out there? If you are, I'd like to know if you're here or not." I didn't hear anything. I kept on asking questions. Were you the nurse that was killed? You know, stuff like that. Are you the doctor that killed the nurse? Did you go insane? What happened? Stuff like that. I wasn't trying to I didn't want to try to with it being paranormal, I didn't want to try to have it to where I was going to anger the ghosts enough to do something like knock over this, or else you're going to be fake, or else you're a fake ghost. I didn't want to do any of that because I didn't want to make things worse and stuff like that, or endanger me and my family. So what I did, I just asked nice questions like, "What's your name? Did you work here at the hospital? Were you killed? Were you the doctor? Were you the nurse? How did you die?" Stuff like that. I was there for probably about a half an hour just in there recording, because I didn't have a camera with me to actually film the location where I was at. The phone I had at the time the camera wasn't working, so I couldn't use that. So I still do have this digital voice recording. I just gotta go through my hard drive, go find my journal, stuff like that, see if I can find it again. So I was there for about a half an hour recording. Did not see anything. I did not hear anything at all. And I went back to review what I had recorded. And I think about 10 or 15 minutes about 10 or 15 minutes into the recording or so, I did find out that I ended up getting one response the entire time I was there. But it was, what's up, Jesse? But I found out it was a response, like a smart, intelligent response that I got to one of the questions I asked. I asked, "Are you the nurse who was killed here by the doctor?" And the response I got took a few seconds, but I waited for at least 30 seconds to a minute between questions, just to get some time to get an answer. And I was asked that question: "Are you the nurse who was killed here?" And the voice, it was like a low whisper. It was like a yes, or it was like a yeah, yes, kind of like a simultaneous yes, yeah, So I was like, "What the heck?" So it scared the heck out of me. Anyways, that's what I'm going to talk about. That I want to be able to go out and do some more paranormal investigations now that I got now that I started up a YouTube channel. I think I'm at 326, 327 subscribers. Don't really usually do paranormal stuff myself, and kind of want to hop on the bandwagon, if you will, if that's how you want to put it. But I don't want to have to do this to gain more subscribers or more views. But I want to do this because I want to know for myself if people are still here. I do, like I said before at the very beginning of the vlog, I do believe that there is an afterlife. I do believe that people live after death, spiritually. But I just don't know for sure if they're here, down here, you know, communicating with us. I just want to know that for sure, because, you know, that's just something I want to be able to see and hear for myself. So I do have a little bit of. Exactly. It's just exactly. It's just, you know, I want to be able to experience and share those experiences with everybody else. Because to tell you the truth, I'm not very good at when it comes to editing or photoshopping and stuff like that. I can't do. I'm not huge into that really. I do it when I exactly. That's exactly, you know. So I kind of want to do that. But I not only do I want to do it for myself, but I also want to do it to show other people what I found, what I've learned, and stuff like that. So, anyways, thanks to everybody for watching today. Had a pretty good turnout for a small YouTube vlogger. Don't forget to check out my Etsy shop. It's CM Sarine Photography, all one word, capital C, capital M, capital S, and then lowercase IRRINE, capital P in photography. Look me up on Etsy. I don't have a whole lot to sell. 10 photographs I have for sale. Check it out. Not very expensive. I sell digital files for my photography. I want to keep it cheap because it's hard to find. To me, in my opinion, it's hard to find cheap, inexpensive artwork. And I do photography. I do very minimal photographic editing, because I only do enough to where the viewer of the photograph can see exactly what I see with my own naked eye. So that's what I do. I just sell digital files for $10 each. I only have about 10 photos up right now. Once I can, you know, actually start selling more of those, I want to be able to put more up, make more available. I do have a little stash that I save that will eventually put up. For every photograph you purchase, there's basically two digital files you get. You spend $10. You do get the copy of the photograph that has my watermark on there. You okay? Sorry about that. Anyways, I have two digital photographs that you download. One that actually has my watermark on there, and then one that does not have my watermark on there. And well, Charlie, go ahead and go check out my photography. See if something like that would work. So I got my Etsy page on there. So I'm pretty good at photography myself. That's too much, but I'll let everybody else be the judge of that. Anyways, what with my, like I was trying to say on my Etsy shop, if you purchase one photograph, you tend to get two copies of the same photograph. One with my watermark on there, one without my watermark on there. Oh, thanks. It's a shirt my wife got for me because I love the movies. I've been a huge fan. I was a huge fan of those movies since I was little. I was about 2 years old when the first movie came out, so I don't really remember seeing that one out in theaters, but I remember seeing the second and third one in theaters and loved it. Anyways, go check it out. The second digital file you get is a photo without my watermarks. That way, the reason why I only sell them for $10 and I sell them digitally, so that way you can actually get a good picture. You can take it to wherever you want to have it downloaded, or you can actually have it to where you can. I want to have it set up to where you can take it to any photographic shop and have it developed anywhere you want it by your choice. And that's why I keep them cheap. If you want to have it framed, it's up to you where you want to do it. If you want to do it yourself, so go check that out. I guess you could say that's kind of merchandise. But I guess you could say that's like, you know how like a lot of a lot of YouTube video or YouTube people have merch and stuff like that. What's up, Jessica? Anyways, I have to me, selling my photographs is like my own merchandise, really, basically. So go check it out. Go check that out. Try to keep it cheap for everybody. Digital copies, digital files. Don't forget to download both files that I have on there. CM Sarine Photography on Etsy. I think it's etsy.com/shop/CM Sarine Photography. After this video uploads, I'll put the link down in the description. So go check it out. Fun stuff. Thanks for watching. I'll talk to you guys later. Had a lot of fun talking about paranormal stuff. Hopefully we can get some paranormal stuff in the future uploaded onto this video, onto this YouTube channel. And I'll talk to you guys later. Peace out, everybody.